Good morning, boys and girls. Here we are, 18th of May, and we're going to do the strengths and the economic calendar. Now, today is, well, it's Monday, so you've got to be careful at the best of times. So let's jump straight into this, and I'll do it as quickly as I can. So, if we look at the current strengths, what we can see is the biggest mover and shaker has been the Euro JPY. The euro is moved up, but it's still in the middle ground, so it's still quite a dangerous market to trade. And you've got the US still sitting at the very top. So if you're looking at euro dollar as a market, it's still going to be a little bit iffy. I have already done the surge on this morning for the challenge. It's just a quick snap move. What you'll see if I just pull this in, I'll periodically do this. But there's the surge right there. Pull that through, and we've got the sum total of 55p. But what you've got to remember is on these things, I'm dealing with pennies. So it starts with 10p to 5p move surge. Get it? And then I'll look at that market again about 10 o'clock. So I had to be a little bit careful with that. So what I'm saying is, when they're not wide apart, just take what it's willing to give and don't be too greedy. Because if you run that into 8 o'clock, well, then there's a problem, right? So that's done, okay? So let's have a look, see what the picks of the day are. Well, the picks of the day, if you come up here, is US JPY. They are completely far apart. But what I will say is with the US being sitting at the very top, it only really has one way to go. So its strength might only be today. Tomorrow it might dissipate. So you've got to be a bit careful of that. And if JPY is on the floor, it only has one way to go as well. So it could catch you out. You might think you're going to buy it because of the strength, but actually it'll probably sell. Okay? Because if you look at JPY, it's not losing any ground anymore. And the US has slowed right down. So there is a change on the horizon. Okay? Then you go into Swissy JPY. I don't trade either of these two. Or the CAD JPY. Now, out of the major picks, you've got quite a decent bag. You've got the Aussie dollar, you've got pound US, and you've got the US JPY as stated. Now, those three will shift, okay? Now, let's have a look at the markets that I look at, which is Euro dollar. Well, I've just discussed that. Pound US. Well, the pound is now in the bottom ground and the US is at the top. So we do have an opportunity there. Okay. What's happening? Well, the pound is gathering pace. But if you look at the market, it does have a decent sentiment to the upper side anyway. Simply because it's had a hell of a drop and it's pushing up. So there we go. Right. So happy's with that. Let's have a look. Just give me a sec. I just want to do something. There we go. Pound JPY, wouldn't touch that. So that's out the equation today. Euro JPY, again, Euro is in the middle. So, and then you got the US JPY. So really it's Pound US and US JPY are the better contenders today. Okay, so let's have a quick look at see if there's anything that's on the horizon that could spark you out the market today. So we'll take it on to the 18th. Did anything happen through the night? Not really. And just have a quick look through. Check the filters out. Well, if you take the low out, look to see if there's any CPIs, anything like that. There isn't any CPI or PMI. What we're left with is these, which are all medium. It's going to be just a technical day today, guys. There isn't anything on the news to be fully aware of. But what I will say about the news today is be very careful of immediate news spikes. We've still got the troubles in the Middle East. They could open the mouth at any time, so be careful. But also we've got a little bit of political upheaval here in the UK for those of you that are overseas. It's a case of the hokey cokey as to whether the PM's going to quit. Is he not? If he does, that could rock the markets. It really could. So over the next few days, you need to be very careful with the pound, simply because it's a state of unknown. Because normally if a PM goes, the Chancellor goes with it. If that happens, the bond market will get nervous and the pound will literally melt. So got to be really, really careful with that. But we'll see what the political future is over the course of the next few days. See if there's going to be a leadership challenge. At the moment, nobody's really throwing the hat in the ring. It's all the rumour machine. But a little bit like last week, waited all day saying, where's Streeting? He's not going to quit. Is he going to quit? And then at the last minute, bang, he quitted. So be very, very careful. Keep an eye on the squawk boxes. Have yourselves a great day. Speak to you all soon.